Welcome to Podcast, the Business of Dentistry Podcast, brought to you by Practice Plan. Podcast delivers the best business advice, real-life stories, and practical hints and tips to make your practice a more profitable and sustainable business. And now, here's your host.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's podcast. My name's Katrina James, I'm an area manager here at Practice Plan.
Hi, I'm Michelle Hardy, I'm the Sales Support Manager for Practice Plan.
So Michelle, I know how long you've been with Practice Plan. You've been here in excess of 20 odd years, and the number of NHS conversions that you've supported practice through, I probably couldn't even count. But what I wanted to ask you is there an example where you've supported a business through this journey from start to end, and it's been particularly successful, and how it happened and what the outcome was?
Yeah, absolutely, Kat. I mean, they're all unique in their own ways, and I absolutely love working with all practices and seeing that transformation in the dentists having come through the process. And you always get the same, sort of response when you've come through the end. I wish I'd done this years ago.
Yes, you do.
It's always the same. I've never ever in 21 years had a dentist say, I wish I hadn't done that. I want to go back on the NHS. But one that particularly sticks in my mind was a practice that we supported last year. And it was a huge practice, over £1 million contract, 2 sites, lots of dentists involved. So you could say an awful lot of risk.
Yes.
But the reality was they couldn't deliver the contract. They'd lost some of their clinicians, couldn't see a way forward, and were actually at the point where they were going to close one of their sites.
Wow.
Because they couldn't staff it, they couldn't fund it.
Big issue, yeah.
And they really, really were in a dilemma and sort of didn't know what to do, but obviously, understandably, very, very nervous. And it wasn't a quick process. We were perhaps talking to them for the best part of 7 or 8 months, talking through all of this. But we got involved very, very early on. We ended up having chats with the team, with all the clinicians in the practice to gauge how they felt about things, making sure that the partners really understood what it was we were going to be taking them through, how it might work. Like we've talked about earlier, run the numbers to say what does that look like in terms of patient numbers and the hand-holding and the support. And I have to say, not only did they succeed their goals with the targets that we'd set them to replace their income, but they actually excelled at that. So it enabled them not only to keep their second site open, but it enabled them to take on 2 new dentists. And the practice has just gone from strength to strength. And I can remember sitting down for dinner, having a conversation with one of the partners several months after that. And he said, Michelle, I don't know if I've ever told you this or ever had the chance to thank you. He says, but you literally did save our business.
Wow.
Because without what you did for us, we wouldn't have a practice at all now, because we really just didn't know which way to turn, what to do. We were losing sleep and we just really didn't have the solution in our hands. And it's you that gave us the confidence through all your delving, through all the conversations and all the support that you gave us, that give us the confidence to do that. And of course, they've never looked back. They're a fantastic practice. And the joy for us to see them doing so well is testimony in itself, and that's what makes our job so rewarding.
You took the words
It's
right
about
out
changing
of my mouth.
lives, isn't it? And it really does change lives, Kat. And there's no better reward than that.
No, I know. It's a wonderful feeling when you see, especially when they're in that situation where it's absolute make or break, that you've just helped them to deliver everything they need to go on and thrive and survive.
Yeah.
It's just
and
wonderful.
giving them belief that it can happen.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing at the beginning of it, as you know, Kat. It's having the belief that, yes, you can do it.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks their practice is unique, but in the reality is, when we look at the numbers, if everything's ticked and we know the numbers are worked and we know that it's genuine, there's no reason why they can't succeed.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to add at the end of that, we're not frightened to say to a practice, if we've looked at the numbers and we've looked at all the risks and everything, if we don't feel that it's right, we won't take you through that process, or we'll advise against it. So, it's not just about business at any cost. It's always put the client first, put the practice first, and make sure it's going to work for you.
Thanks, Michelle. That's lovely. It's a lovely story. It's giving me a little bit of goosebumps, actually, just listening to it. It's just great. And I mean, people do sit and think about leaving the NHS for a very, very long time before they get the confidence to take that step across. And sometimes it is because they just can't fulfill the contract because they can't recruit. Sometimes it's just that it's the stress and the pressure that goes with it. I mean, in Wales at the moment, we've got an awful amount of uncertainty going on. They've gone into proposals, in place to revoke GDS. They're in a consultation period. And there's a huge amount of uncertainty with the change that's going ahead there. So, whatever your reason is, you just need to get all the information, come and talk to an expert and really understand what your options are and how you can be supported through it.
Absolutely.
Charles, thank you so much for your time today. It's always great spending time with you because you're such a fountain of knowledge. I just want to say, for anybody that's out there listening to our podcast today, if you've got any questions or you're thinking about leaving the NHS and you're feeling uncertain, please do reach out to us regardless what it is you're thinking. And we are here to help you and support you through this journey. My name's Katrina. Thanks very much for listening to us today. And please don't hesitate to contact us if you've got any further questions.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you, Michelle.